Welcome to the podcast, guys. Today on the talk, we have Dominic, also known as Toodles by his street name. And today we're just going to talk about his build, which is a Honda Civic EP3. And he's just going to give us a breakdown of the car and mods. And he's just going to talk about the racing scene on the street, on the track, and that's about it. Okay, Dominic, if you can give us a breakdown of the car, how you acquired it, when you bought it, and where you got it from, how you bought it, and where it is to now.
Okay, so it's a 2003 model Honda Civic Type R EP3. It's a UK import. It was imported into South Africa in 2011 by the original owner that bought it new in the UK. So he brought it over with him and he kept it, and I managed to get it when it became available in 2017. So when I got the car was black. It was Nighthawk black, and I decided to send it in to have a full respray done. They did a full inside-out respray, and now it's championship white. So mods-wise and engine-wise, I've got a K24 bottom end, so fully built, fully balanced. And then I've got some Wasico pistons and some rods in there as well. The head, I've got stage 3 cams with a RBC intake manifold and a 70mm throttle body. I've got some bigger injectors in here as well, and that's about the engine. I'm still running on pump fuel, and the power at the moment, before I tuned, was 197 kilowatt on JVS and 240 Newton meters. I then sent it in for tuning after that, so it should be making a little bit more now, but I haven't taken it back for another power run. Gearbox wise, I've got LSD, lighter flywheel, and I've got some shorter gears in as well. Some JDM gears. So yeah, that's about the engine.
Does that come from another Honda?
What is this?
The gears now. Does it come from another Honda?
Yes, it does.
Or don't you want to give a secret away?
I'm not going to dive too much into it, but it comes from another Honda, yes. I've got shorter gears in from another Honda.
Okay. I've raced this car a few times. I want to say I've been through the build with you. But
you've been through the journey, I think.
Yeah, every time we race, there's always some extra spice on your car.
Yes.
So I want to know from you now, like, is this the end point, or
so
is there still more in the tank?
Before I did the K24 build, I actually wanted to go turbocharged. That was the plan, or it wasn't a plan, but I was going to do the NA build, the K24 NA build, and I decided last minute before the build started to contact my mechanic and ask him. The car was built by Garage 10, by the way, and ask him if we can turbocharge the car, because I just felt like the money that I would have spent for the NA build would have been the same. It would have worked out to about the same if I were to turbocharge it instead of doing the NA, completing the NA build. And obviously the power would have been double. So it would have been very worth it. But then I was given some pros and cons and by the mechanic, and he told me it's just not, he doesn't recommend it. He doesn't recommend, for the use that I want to put the car through, he doesn't recommend it, and he thinks that I will enjoy the car more.
So the car, I know this built.
Yeah.
Who was it built by, and the tuner?
Okay, so the first tune that I did was AJ Racing. He did the first tune. I then, obviously, when I went through my stages of increasing the power in K20 state, I went to Clown Performance. So Clown Performance also did some work on the car. They did some tuning on the car as well, and I was very happy. And then when I did the build, I did unfortunately have to leave Clown Performance, because the guy who did my build, Aldrin at Garage 10, he wanted to do everything on the car. So he wanted to do, obviously, the full build. He wanted to be a one-man build, so that nobody else can be held responsible or pinpointed where, any errors could have come up or anything like that. So he built it, and I'm very happy with his workmanship. I'm very happy with obviously the quality of work that I got from him, and the service that I got from him. He kept me up to date as the build was progressing, as we got the things back from the engineers, or as the final pieces of the parts arrived to complete the build. He kept me in the loop, so I'm very happy with that. And then when the build was done, basically he was very busy. Okay, and I think I did send it to him for the tune, for a startup startup tune, and obviously I drove in my kilometers I needed to drive in, and then it was time to obviously give me a little bit more spice, because at the time when I was driving the car in, it was only revving to 4.5.
And obviously you paid for...
Yeah, I paid for my whole clock. I want to use my whole clock. I want to rev to 9. Anyway, but yeah, so basically he got very busy, and then I collected the car by him, and at the time I did get some lift. I was able to rev the car, and I mean the car was enjoyable, but he gave me the key, and he said, here's the key, go have fun, but be responsible. So I asked him, what exactly does that mean? I've got a list of people waiting. I've got a list of people where, I want to go out in full attack mode. Then he said, no, look, there's still we're slowly changing the oil process. So you go from a thick oil to a slightly thinner oil.
So he works it down to
he works it down to the final oil, obviously the 5W30 or 5W40, the shell that I use. So it was a very long process. The whole build took 2 years. That's just to put it into perspective.
That's building the motor.
That's building the motor.
The motor in.
Putting it in, driving it in, doing the oil changes, driving that kilometers in, doing the oil changes again. Obviously the startup map that I got, and then the kind of like a road map. I don't want to call it a road map because he wasn't even halfway done with the map.
I see what you're saying. So basically, call it a base file.
It's a base map. It's a very rough base file that he gave me, and after not having my car for over a year, I took the car with this base file and I took it onto a closed road.
Private test.
A private road, a closed road, and I decided to do a test just to see. And I got the shock of my life.
On the time or on the speed?
On how quickly it ran the clock off. But yeah, so I got a very big fright. Obviously, it wasn't what I was used to. Now that I've got a bigger displacement, obviously going from the 2 liter to the 2.4, it was a lot more torquey. So I wasn't getting traction in first, it was non-existent. Traction second was basically non-existent. And I only for an NA car to only start getting traction around third gear.
You know it's making power.
Then I did something right, or he did something right. So I was very happy, and I phoned him and I said, what have you built? What have you done, basically? And he said he's just happy that I'm happy. I was happy that the build was, it was complete. And then when it was time to tune, it was very difficult because he is not necessarily a full-time tuner. He obviously does services and repairs.
That's his day-to-day basis.
That's his day-to-day job. So the tuning that he did for me, it was more like a favor, or it was more, I was paying for it, but he was tuning it when he had some free time.
I see.
And when you build a car for a year, you get to a point where you kind of get a little bit impatient, and you're so excited that you just want, you want the car back, and you want it back in its final form, in its final tune. But he was obviously doing his day-to-day job, and I had to respect that, and I had to understand that. And then I had to sit down and I had to decide, okay, where do I go now? Do I go back to AJ that initially did the tuning on my car? Do I go back to Clown Performance, who did the tune just before I did the build? Or do I wait until Aldrin becomes available? Yeah, Get Out 10 becomes available. And it was a few weeks that I had to sit and think about it. And this car doesn't come out with a wide band sensor. It comes out with a narrow band. So basically, it can't read air-fuel ratios. It can't give you readings, air-fuel ratio readings like normal cars can.
And that's vital for the tune, basically.
Exactly. You need that for the tune. You need it for the wide open, for the partial throttle. You need it. So because AJ had the same car and he had a kit on hand that he could just install on my car and basically do the tune, I reached out to him and I asked him very nicely, listen, do you mind removing the kit from your car and installing it into
My
mine.
car.
He wasn't very happy about it. Shout out AJ.
Is that for the tune or is that for you to keep? Just the tune?
It was just for the tune.
Okay.
So it was basically for him to remove it from his car
Put it on your
and
car.
put it on my car. Basically tune the car over a couple of days, and then basically just remove it again. Give me my final tune, and off I go. Off he goes with his kit. And the future plans is obviously for me to get my own kit so that I'll be free to go wherever I want to go and stuff. But that's basically, to answer your question, Garage 10 bolted, very happy with his work, very happy with his service, and AJ Racing ended up tuning the car. So, sorry, last thing, just before I sent the car to AJ for tuning, the morning of me dropping the car off, I actually phoned around. I phoned Dyno and I was like, guys, I'll never be able to sleep peacefully not knowing how much did the car make, on the base file, on startup map. And Dyno unfortunately couldn't help me because you have to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I remember. I went with you.
Yeah. You have to be there. You have to be there super early. Dyno said there's no way that they can help me. So I said, you know what? It's fine. But I still want the figures.
So you went for the next best.
Yeah, I went for the next best, and I phoned around. And the only person that was willing to or able to assist me was Jody from JVS. And as we know, Jody's dyno is not the most giving dyno. It is seen as one of the most stingier dynos around Cape Town. But yeah, so I wasn't really expecting too much, but I needed a base figure.
Yeah, just to see where the car
is. Yes, I needed a base figure so that I could obviously measure and see after the car comes back from tuning, what is the car going to be making, or how much did I gain? And when I put the car on the dyno, the car made 197 kilowatt and about 240 newtons. The newtons were down,
but the kilowatt is
was nice. The kilowatt was nice, and what was nice is that the car was making power right up until limiter. It wasn't dropping down. So that tells me that there was still a little bit more, in the tank. And the car was also running very rich. I remember when I sent it in, the car was running extremely rich. So obviously with AJ Racing fine-tuning the fueling and doing the tune, I would expect that the car is making a bit more than 197 now. Unfortunately, I can't give you the final figures because I haven't got the time to take it back.
I'm going to invite you out now, the 29th.
Yes.
If you are free.
Yes.
There's a dyno by Dynotech.
Yeah.
I would like to see.
I would like to see.
I want to know what this car is making.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see.
So we obviously took a run, and I assume it's on the setup?
Yes, it was on the setup, tuned basically as you have it.
Okay, so I made by Dynotech 287. 287 in the RS.
Okay.
And the way this thing left me from the line, bro. Okay, look, weight-wise, my car is a bit heavier.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any closing happening, so I can definitely say this car is making.
Look,
must be making over 200.
Yeah. I would suspect. Look, I don't believe in speculation figures, but if someone had to ask me what do I think it's making, I would say it's probably making around 205 to 10, somewhere in that region.
I'm gonna go with 210 so I can feel better.
I would like that. I mean, the car, there is another one that was basically had exactly the same setup in, but he was running with ethanol and his head was ported. And he was making 233 kilowatt.
Whose car is this?
Daryl from Clown Performance. Okay. So that's before obviously the engine decided to say salam. Yeah. He was making 233 kilowatt and that was on ethanol, on an ethanol mix.
So your plan is to go for ethanol?
My plan is definitely to, I can't build the car for a mix and run it on pump fuel. Because AJ was telling me the amount of timing that he had to pull just to be able to run this car like efficiently on like a daily on pump fuel. He says that I'm shooting myself in the foot. I might as well have then gone stock bottom.
See what you're saying. Basically wasting your money.
Yeah, kind of. I'm not getting the full effect of the build. So yeah, like I said, my goal, I don't think is 230 kilowatt is necessary, but I would like to be closer to the 220 mark. Just to tell myself, okay, in the K20 state, I made 185 and I gained 40 kilowatt.
Which is a lot for NA car.
It's decent. It's decent. It's a decent amount of gains because I mean, people joke around and say, with the K series, it's 1,000 rand per kilowatt, and they're not joking.
No, that's.
They are definitely not joking.
I saw that by you on
Yeah.
your FN2.
Yeah, no, it's money pits. Don't do it, guys. But yeah, so that's where the car is at now. Look, I will take it back. I'll take you up on that. I'll check my schedule and I'll take you up on that
I'll be
dyno
keen to
day.
see the car.
But I would love to see what the car is making, because when I compare to the turbo guys, it's difficult to compare because I can't go out and race a 200 kilowatt turbo car. I don't think it would be fair.
I don't think so. I've seen you race like
So
250 kilowatt up turbo cars, and
I would say it's probably it's able to punch in the range of about 260 to 290. I would say anything over 290 is pushing it a bit, but I definitely don't think that a 290 kilowatt car is going to leave me.
yeah,
It's not going to leave me for dead. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of a gap, but at least I'll stand some sort of a chance, you know.
true.
So yeah, and I mean it's fun. It's fun being the underdog. It's amazing.
That's the best part. Like how do I put it? If you look at in a realistic situation,
Yeah,
this is the 03 model.
as a 2003 model. Yeah.
For 2003 car to be keeping up with 2014 Rs and GTIs, bro, it's quite impressive. If you think about
Thank you
it.
very much.
It's very impressive.
It only took 7 years.
But it got there.
Yeah,
Got there.
eventually it got there. I don't know after the ethanol. I don't know. I don't think there's any more plans after that.
After the car, so you
Yeah.
don't turbo it. After
No,
that,
I think I am so deep in this car financially that I think if I were to pull this out and start because I can't do it on a high compression
Yeah.
engine, I would have to
You go
obviously
low
drop the
comp, yeah.
compression, so that's a whole nother build. I don't think it would be financially smart
to make that move.
to make that move. And I mean, like we spoke and we said, like at the moment when I'm racing turbo cars, I am somewhat competitive. I am able to, you know, race cars that are making 50, 60 kilowatt more than what I'm making, and I'm able to sit within reach of them.
Oh.
So that makes me happy. That's good enough.
That's good. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've got a pack in my AC with this thing, and I thought like I came out full sin hybrid injectors,
Yeah.
new tune, and I thought like I'm gonna run from the score, and it's the other way around.
But look, you also have to look at it in the sense where you've had your car, but you haven't really had that much seat time in the car.
That's also true.
Do you understand what I mean? Whereas I've thoroughly enjoyed this car. I understand where it wants to be launched, where it wants to be revved to, when like
You know your car.
you will see on the video that you post of us of when we raced on Killarney, you will see that you will still be spinning in first, then I'm in second on my way to third already. And I think that's what makes the biggest difference, because when I'm shifting at 9,000, but the revs are dropping to 8.2. It's dropping to about 8,000, 8.2. So I'm at the top of my power band. You spinning, and then when you shift, you're dropping out of boost, and then you're building boost again. I'm staying at 8,000.
Yeah.
So I think that, coupled with the obviously the LSD and the gearing, the LSD, and I think the power to weight probably plays the biggest role.
Yeah. And these like a single
Yeah, I've got some meaty. I've got some
secrets away, but I mean it's out there.
Yeah, no, I've got some meaty tires on there, and I've got it on my normal rims, so it doesn't stand out too much.
Okay.
Hashtag always prepared.
Always prepared. Speaking of prepared,
Yes.
the street racing. So yeah, we don't condone that here, by the way.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
But with regards to the street racing,
yeah,
I'm gonna say you've been racing for a while. I'm gonna say you've experienced it over the years.
Yes.
Like you've obviously been to the dices and
Yeah.
whatever. I just want to ask you, like, compared to now, like I haven't seen this car on the street, like, in a minute.
Yeah.
And how has it changed for you? Like personally for myself, it's changed. Like I don't want to go like a private run.
Yeah.
That is where like I enjoy it now. But like going to the dice is not the same as it used to be. Like
so
be 16 days, man.
Yes, no, definitely. Look, over the years the cars have gotten faster. Okay, so I think that's one of the biggest aspects, is that the cars now are significantly quicker than what they were back in 2010, 2012. You know, when we just started driving, we got our first cars, we were putting cone filters on, not cutting the springs, but doing silly things. But now the cars are a lot faster. They get much higher speeds at a much quicker rate.
Yeah.
So, like, it's dangerous. It was dangerous back then, but it's very dangerous.
now.
Like, it's extremely dangerous. And when you doing the speeds at the end of, I mean, that time my B16, I think my exit speed was about 140, 145, 150 maybe. My exit speed now is 180. So that means in 400 meters, I'm able to run my clock off.
No.
So let's say it's a race that's longer than 400 meters. It's a 600 or 800 meter, whatever the case may be. What speed am I going to be doing? You know,
Yeah.
at the not even at the end, but in that race, what speed am I going to be doing? And where is a location that is safe enough so that other people can't be
Yeah.
involved or that they not put at risk, you know? So then I decided a few years ago, I lost a very close friend of mine. It wasn't in a street race, but it was car related. And basically that really opened up my eyes, and it made me realize how dangerous these cars
Yeah.
actually are.
The
And it was a
speeds.
it was a very similar car to this, similar build, you know, from a same era, similar power, whatever. And yeah, it was really a shocker. And I think that is what made me decide. I made the decision. The car is much faster than what it was before it went in for the build and stuff. But I made the decision that it's not worth it. If someone wants to race me, or if someone wants to call me out, we do it at the track or we don't do it at all. To answer your question, I've made the decision to keep all my racing on track. So whether it's Killarney, Saldanha, or, you know, if there's another event somewhere else or whatever, maybe PE.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that
then
be a nice trip.
Yeah, take it there. But streets, yeah, no, I don't think. You said you haven't seen it in
I haven't seen
in a while.
And I haven't been on the street in a while either.
You won't be seeing it.
I haven't seen the score. This is probably like the third time I see the score this year.
Yeah, no, I don't drive it that often. I do know a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I got a phone call. There was some illegal activity happening on the streets of Mitchell's Plain. But I got a phone call to ask, hey, I see you driving around in Mitchell's Plain. And I said, no, I'm laying in my home bed. As far as I know, my car's in the garage. So yeah.
So there's a doppelganger running around.
Yeah, apparently I've got some competition.
Speaking about competition,
yeah.
Do you have any like branded competition? When I said, I mean like against VVL, against Beams. I mean, it's a great series at the end of the day.
Yes. So look, I don't have any dead set competition or people I'm after. But what I can tell you, when you asked me that question, the first car that came to mind is the Beams. And
is it a Beams in specific?
Yes.
Or is it the Beams motor?
No. It's a very specific car, and I've got nothing against him or the car, but I think it's just some healthy competition. It's just some you know.
So you push out to be faster, basically.
Yes, and it's been coming for a while. Obviously through my stages as I was modding my car and as he was modding his car. There is one specific car or person that I would have always liked to have a clean race with, you know, to have a complete clean race. And like I said, I've got no beef with him. I don't have any beef with anyone. But Umran,
right, KJ for Toodles.
Unfortunately, you're the chosen one. Look, I know he's still busy with his car, and I know he's got a lot of other things. I think he just had a child now, a baby. So he's got a lot of other things going on as well, which I completely understand and I respect, obviously. So there's no pressure, there's no timeline attached or whatever. But one day before we both retire, you know, before we both kick up our boots and we retire and we move on, I would like that race. Whether it's his car in NA form or turbocharged form or with gas or without gas. To me, I just want the race from start to end. Okay. That's all I want. I feel like I need that race to happen so that
you can retire.
So, no, not that I can retire. Is he gonna retire me?
I'm not saying anything, but
look, so that I can also just feel like, you know, there was a big hype about the two cars and stuff.
I see what you're saying.
And I know I'm making obviously a bit more power than him, so it's not really a fair race. But as Beams in a boxy, so I feel like power to weight. He can get the jump. He can, you know, anything can happen. I could miss a gear. Anything can happen. So that's the race I would like to happen. To happen in the future sometime. And as like a part 2 of that question, turbo cars. I love
Any
me.
turbo cars.
Front
wheel drive, all drive, rear wheel drive.
You see, yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of call outs from this.
I'll leave his Insta down.
No, please don't. Please don't. Basically, I like good competition. So if it's a Golf 7 that's got some nice mods on it, like if it's stock or stage 1, nah, I'm not really interested.
You want stage 2 and up?
I want stage 2. I want to try a hybrid. The hybrid's obviously 300 plus, but that's kind of where if I were to
that's your punching weight basically.
Yeah, if I were to ask someone for a run on Killarney, whatever, I would want them to be stage 2 at least. To be. I want it to be competitive. I want it to be fun. I want him to feel like I'm pushing him. I don't want it to feel like it's a walkover. Like, I'm wasting his time, I'm wasting his fuel. Because if I ask him, listen, can we have a run? And he gives me 6 buses, he's not going to race me again.
True, yeah, he's going to go park.
He's going to go park. He's going to be like, you're wasting my time. Go play with your other Honda friends. You understand what I mean? So, yeah, that's, I would say turbo cars. 4-wheel drive, unfortunately, I can't compete. Killarney doesn't accommodate. Yeah, doesn't accommodate for a front-wheel drive car to race a 4-wheel drive car. Even if you are able to catch, the strip is just not enough. It's not enough to catch it. And obviously, if the car is 4-wheel drive, you best believe it's not going to be a stock or a standard 4-wheel drive car. It's going to be a modded stage 2, 7R or S3 or whatever the case may be. Not that I'm saying I can compete with them. I'm just saying that it's going to be a modified 4-wheel drive car. So I'm out.
You already lost on the line.
Exactly. But yeah, I would say, look, anything really that is going to give me a nice fight. That's going to make me work for it.
That's what you're saying. So you want competition basically?
Yeah, I want some nice competition.
But those are the best races, no?
They definitely are. But I mean, I have to be realistic also. I have to look at the times. So I don't know if you want to, dive into that.
Yeah, we can.
So basically, I did a Draggy on the car in its current form, and I was able to do a 12.9. So that 12.9.
That's very quick. Front wheel drive.
Yeah, I think.
That's very quick.
Yeah, I think it's very decent. Yeah, I managed to do a 12.9. Exit speed was 178. And I mean, I definitely feel like I can do better because that was the third run. Of this Draggy thing that I was doing. The first run was a 13.1, then it was a 13.0, and then a 12.9. So it was just getting better. As the tires were warming up, and as I was getting used to, the launch and the stuff, it was definitely getting there. And then I took the car to street to strip, and I managed 4 back-to-back 13.1s. Okay. That was very frustrating because I was changing all factors, all variables. I was changing my tire pressures. I was changing the way I launched, the revs that I'm launching at, what I do, how I'm shifting.
To better the time, obviously.
But it didn't want to drop under 13.1. So on a street to strip, which is obviously unprep.
Yeah.
Unprep, on the semi-slicks, full trim, I managed to do the 13.1. And then, like I said, the 12.9 on the Draggy. I feel like if I were to strip out, so like, take out the back seats, take out the front seat, I definitely feel like the car is capable of a 12.7, somewhere around a 12.7, 12.8 maybe. And then on a full slick, like I said, I don't like to do hypothetical, but on a full slick, 100% low 12s, mid to low 12s.
It's very impressive.
I think it's capable. I think it's definitely capable of it. I don't know. I mean, my goal was always a 12.6. That was my goal. But then after I did the 12.9 full trim on a semi-slick, I decided no, man, this car is capable of much more. So yeah, that's the power of the car.
So I lost all the score by each day.
Yes.
And firstly, times that you ran at each day. And then secondly, there's one race that's going around making it circles. It's against an EG. I don't know the car.
Yeah.
It looked fast. So yeah, if you can elaborate on that.
Okay, so basically times at each day. Look, the times at each day wasn't the greatest overall. I managed to do a 13.5, if I'm not mistaken, 13.5. I know obviously the car is capable of much more, but for me on the day, it was about more than the times. It was about having fun, enjoying the day, and I can definitely say that race that you brought up now, that was actually my last race of the day. That race happened at 2 minutes to 4, just before they closed up the track. And what happened was, it was completely unplanned. It was
So it wasn't a call out.
No, it wasn't a call out. What happened was, they were doing eliminations. HJ was doing Killarney was doing eliminations, and that didn't work out too great. And in the last 5 minutes of the day, because they closed strictly at 4 o'clock. The last 5 minutes of the day, they basically announced, okay guys, open track, anyone can come. Then I jumped off the wall. I was still busy making a pipe. And then I jumped off the wall and I ran to my car. And I was like, I want to get my money's worth. Like, I want to get in as many runs as I can. And I ran to the car. And as I came around to come to the start line, I saw him, that EG, the Nardo Grey EG. It's Robin Jansen.
Okay.
I saw him there. And basically, I pulled up next to him and I looked at him and he smiled and I smiled and I was like, okay, this is happening.
It's on now.
Yeah, it's on. And I mean, it's a EG. It's obviously EG hatch.
Yeah.
So that thing weighs, I mean, I weigh 1.2. He's probably 850. And he's also K-swapped. So, it was...
Yeah, the balls in his court.
Yeah, he was...
advantage.
In my mind, he was definitely going to win the race. And for me, it was just about obviously having fun. Yeah. I don't have any beef with him. I think he's a great guy, very good sport. But obviously, I came here to win. Yeah. I don't want to
drive now.
Yeah, I'm going to do the best thing I can. The car makes, let's say, 197, 200 kilowatt. I'm putting every kilowatt down that I can. I'm shifting, the best that I can, the quickest that I can. I'm going to try and launch the best I can, whatever. But anyway, so we pulled up to the line and it was on. And the commentator, I remember, I could clearly hear the commentator going crazy in the announce tower. Uncle Figo, shout out. And he was basically like, he was saying that this is going to be a good race. And he introduced us and stuff. And then it was time. So we launched and he actually gets the jump on me. Okay.
Always good as lighter.
Yeah. So he gets the jump on me and I obviously launch the best that I can. And as soon as I put to second, he puts to second, but I think he misshifted or something happened, or he spun a little bit more than what I spun when we put second.
You can see on the video the car falls back a little bit.
Yes, it does. Advantage. But you can also hear that his car does spin up quite a bit when he shifts to second. So that's why I say I'm not sure if for that split second, he spun in his second as he put to second, or if there was an issue with his shift itself. Obviously, I watched the video from multiple different angles, and all I can say is it was a mad race. It was an absolutely insane race. I will definitely send you the in-car footage of the race. So basically, we set off the line, the lights go green, we launch, he out-launches me, we put to second, and I level up with him in second. Okay? Now we neck on neck, and it's now, there's no room for error, there's no room for misshifts, limit, like, hitting the limiter, and we are going. So we put into third gear, and in my mind, this is where he starts pulling away. Yeah. But I have to mention that, yes, both cars are K-Series, but I'm K24 and he's K20.
Okay, so displacements on your side.
The displacements on my side and the torque advantage is on my side to, get my extra bit of weight moving.
He has the weight advantage, you have the power advantage.
Yes, I think. I'm not sure what power he's making.
Oh, yeah.
But I would assume that I would be making... I would be making a little bit more Newton meters. I think his power to weight ratio would be better than mine because, like I say, he weighs like 400 kilograms lighter. But nevertheless, in the race, we put to third gear and we're still sitting neck on neck. I was very confused. I don't even think neither of us were looking forward. We were looking at each other throughout the race. And we put to third, we ran third out, we put to fourth, and because I have, special gears in, I thought, okay, this is my secret weapon that I brought to this fight. And I put to fourth, and it's like I couldn't pull away from him. He couldn't pull away from me. I can imagine how both of us were pushing that accelerator, as flat as we could, because the finish line was coming up, and it was coming up very quickly. So we ran fourth out, and I think probably the last 20 meters of the track. You can see on the video, he pulls a bumper head.
And then he gets the race.
And then he wins the race. And I kept it for a little while longer. We both kept it for a little while longer than the finish line, because I still remember shifting to fifth on the line. Shifting to fifth, and then it's like you see in the video, hey, I'm coming back, but then we forced to tap. We forced to tap. So that was the race. Look, amazing race. I went to him. I was overwhelmed with excitement and thrill and stuff. And I think that was the best way I could have ended off each day.
It's a liquor way to end off.
That was amazing. I didn't even care what time I ran on the day or what time I ran in that race. I couldn't care, because that I know that's a fast car, and the race that we had, it's like it was worth it. It's one for the books, definitely. I told him, I went to him, I shook his hand, and I said, Robin, listen, probably one of the best races I've ever had, and I think one of the best races I ever will have. And like Good Sport took my hand, and he was like, nah, great race. Yeah, so that's basically how it went, how the day went, and like I said, it was for me, it was just about enjoying the day, and that last race was definitely one for the books. But yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for inviting me on the podcast, on your first video.
Thank you for agreeing.
No problem.
The planning wasn't the best.
Yeah, look, we've wanted to do it for a while, and there was constantly things that were coming up on both our sides. But I'm glad I got to come and have a chat to you and stuff. And just want to say again, from the car community, thank you very much for what you are doing. You're definitely helping prevent the car scene from dying.
Yeah, that is one of the
so yeah, but over to you.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching, if you stayed till the end. So basically, going forward into the future, this is basically what we're going to be doing: cars, racing, race drivers specific. Not any brands or any areas like that. Just want to get the car spirit going again. Yeah, Toodles, Mr. Dominic, thank you very much for coming.
You are very welcome, sir.
Appreciate the time. And yeah, I think that's going to be a wrap from us, guys. Stay tuned. There's definitely going to be more. And yeah, we'll try to get, like, when I say special cars like these. But yeah, anyone's welcome on the channel. If you want to be featured, you can hit me up with a DM and we can arrange something. But yeah, once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching.
Umran.
And yeah, Umran. I think Umran should probably be next.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would make logical sense.
If he agrees and has the time.
He will agree. He will agree.
But yeah, Umran, unofficially, officially, your call out is there. So,
pending. No timeline, no deadlines. Look, I understand that you are going. There's a lot of things happening in your space as well. But for the future, for the car culture, for that memory, I think we need to do it. We need to finish this off.
So yeah, Umran, we'll speak soon. But yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.